Well, as you know, it's always good to hear the NXT and AEW and get ahead again because we all remember last time AEW won the Wednesday Night War. But however, this is a one-time thing we're gonna expect. Now, I'm gonna be honest with everybody about this. I do have that distinct feeling that NXT may win this one, but however, until the results are out, because this happened on a Wednesday, I won't know until tomorrow. So we'll see what happens. But however, as you know, AEW Dynamite features many matches on this one. We have, of course, a very interesting main event with Ricochet with a mystery partner taking on the members of Don Callis, Kyle Fletcher, and Konosuke Takeshita. So there's going to be a lot of things taking place, and I can't wait to see what's going to happen. But as for NXT, as you all know, NXT went back to where ECW began, or should we call it ECW Country, at the same venue where they've done many of their shows for many years. So the real question is who we will see during, of course, the entire time. Some ECW legends. So that's going to be a lot of fun to check out. We do have, of course, the main event, I believe, is the 10 women the 10 woman tag match. So that's going to be a very interesting match to watch. So I'm looking forward to that. And then, of course, we cap up this episode with some news updates telling you what's been going on in the world of pro wrestling, such as what events the promotions are throwing out, who's booked, what matches are set, including developments that are happening in the world of pro wrestling as we speak. So, let's get ready for another episode of the Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Hey everyone, welcome to the Deleted Wrestle Zone. All things that is pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, TNA, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, J Rod here. So, if you are new to the channel, welcome. This is a channel where we do a lot of pro wrestling reviews from various promotions, not only here in the United States, but also in Japan, Mexico, Canada, Europe, the UK, anywhere in the world where pro wrestling is not as big, but it continues to grow. We also, of course, do discussion videos, talk about various topics such as the wrestlers themselves, the promotions, factions, storylines, whatever we want to talk about. We also, of course, do more news updates. If certain information was unable to be on this episode, we can either put it on the next episode or on a separate video by itself. We also, of course, do real-timing news updates to keep you guys on alert if something has happened in the world of wrestling that needs to be addressed ASAP. We also, of course, do Nagi Sayaka Watch and various other cool wrestling content as well. So if you like what you see, please subscribe to us or click on that subscribe button. You'll be getting a lot of daily reviews and other cool wrestling content as well. But if you like this episode, please give us a like on the like button or a nice comment in the description down below. Now, all introductions have been aside. As you know, we have a reignition of course, of the Wednesday Night War. But as I said before, I do have that prediction, but we just have to wait to see. So let's begin, of course, with AEW Dynamite. Okay, AEW Dynamite. It started out, of course, with the Hurt Syndicate, formerly known as the Hurt Business. As you know, they come back. Now, their primary goal is to help out elevate the young talent, but they gave a stern warning for those who reject their offer. And of course, we all know what happened last time when it came to Swerve Strickland. So that was one of the main reasons that happening. But of course, Swerve Strickland was not happy. Basically, he wanted to get his hands on them for what they did to him last time. So looks like the war is officially on, but I think we already know what's going to happen. I think Swerve Strickland will face Bobby Lashley most likely at Full Gear. So we'll get to that. Now, our next match, well, we weren't sure what they were going to call them. We saw Claudia Castagnoli and Pac, along with Yuta, Marina Shafir, and Jon Moxley. Now they're officially called the Death Riders. They take on Orange Cassidy and, of course, Darby Allin. Now, remember, this was a war where Jon Moxley feels that he has to burn AEW to the ground and rebuild it. So, however, of course, you got Orange Cassidy who can't tolerate that. But, however, at some point during the match, Marina Shafir took out Bryce Winsport, referee, and I'm going to assume this match went into a no contest. However, they wanted to brutalize both Darby and of course um, Orange Cassidy. Luckily, the remaining members of the conglomerates showed up. The conglomeration showed up. Briscoe, uh, Rocky, Ishii, and O'Reilly. So basically, we'll see where that leads us. However, our we do see an interview with Ricochet. As you know, as I mentioned, our main event is going to be Ricochet with the mystery partner taking on the Don Callis family members, Konosuke Takeshita and Kyle Fletcher. However, he said that he's not going to reveal his partner, but it's going to be very interesting. But however, as you know, we saw the Hurt Business last time. It seems they're trying to recruit them. However, Ricochet hasn't given his answer yet. But the Hurt Syndicate decided to give them, like, how do I say, that they're the wish them luck. So we'll see what happens. Now, we jump into the conglomerations. Ishii, O'Reilly, and Briscoe taking on the Bad Apple, Brian Keith, Redwood, Big Bill, and Chris Jericho. So, however, remember, Chris Jericho has won the ROH Women World Title away from Briscoe, getting his being El Nueve, meaning in Spanish the ninth. Uh, Basically, there are a lot of things happen. We did see Kyle O'Reilly took out the Redwood outside of the ring through a table while he put him in headlock. But, however, Ishii was the one who put Jericho out of commission when he put him through the um, the Brainbuster. Now, I forgot to mention this match was in fact a fight without honor match, which means there is no honor involved. But it was Ishii that in fact got the match. So most likely we will see Ishii taking on Chris Jericho, possibly for the ROH World Championship. So that's something we probably will see down the road. Now, of course, the Death Riders are not happy, or of course being that. But however, Orange Cassidy, Jon Moxley's telling Orange Cassidy, screw this whole thing of your past and all that. But of course, that's how it is. So we'll see where that goes. Now, our next match, we have Adam Cole versus Malachi Black. So remember, Adam Cole has to win 3 matches in a row in order to get his hands on, of course, MJF. So that's one of the things. However, we know Malachi Black is one of those guys that we can say that he is not someone you should tread lightly. But in the end, Adam Cole did everything possible to try to put Malachi Black out when he applied the boom, and that was it. And then, of course, at the post match, we did see Malachi Black and Adam Cole hug it out. But of course, we did see Adam Cole did a little promo talking about the matches he is and also the matches Roderick Strong's in. However, it seems MJF was a bit concerned over the fact because, as MJF, as you all know, he does not want to contend with Adam Cole. However, he got into a call and said that he wants him to call someone, saying that he needs him to see someone. I don't know what was that call about, but apparently we will get the answer to that. Now, we did see a little interview with Renee talking to Jay White. As you know, Jay White will be in a match against Hangman Adam Page, and then he tells him that he was going to hurt him. But however, Hangman decided to do it as soon as possible. But of course, when things were going tough, luckily Juice Robinson showed up the helping hand, and that's how it ended up. But Jay White said some choice into Hangman's face, so we'll see what happens when we get to Full Gear. Now, once again, Renee did another interview with this time with Chris Statlander talking about now it's official that she will be in full gear taking on Mercedes Moné for the TBS title. However, it's no secret that now that Moné will not be tolerating Chris Statlander in any way possible. They attempted to ambush her and take her out. However, Chris Statlander being the fighter that she is, she took both of them out. So we'll see what happens when we get to full gear. Now, we did see Christian Cage along with Nick Wayne and Shayna, along with his brand new son, Kip Sabian. However, Christian Cage had, of course, the security. So it's now been confirmed Christian Cage confessed that he was the one who, in fact, took out Taz. Basically, he's trying to obtain him to be by his side. You know, he thinks that he's a better father, but Hook, he's not going to tolerate that. Not only that, if you guys notice, Christian Cage kind of trashed ECW, but Hook decided to take matter of his own hands, but the security team were the ones that got their asses handed to them. Knowing too well Hook, he's unhinged, and he will not stop until he choke out Christian. But Christian's only priority is getting the AEW World title, so we'll see where that goes. Now, Alex Marquez decided to talk to Don Callis about the upcoming things going on with the family. However, a messenger showed up giving Don Callis a envelope full of money and some sort of red box, and it turns out he got a message from MJF. So it's now been clear MJF wanted Don Callis for a favor. So he told him that gets someone that he can count on to take on Adam Cole. So basically said if he can get him done, he'll give him more money. So, of course, it's no secret Don Callis will do it because he's a reputable businessman. So, we don't know who will be that person, but we'll get to that. Now, we have our latest match, Penelope Ford versus Jamie Hayter. Of course, this was a match that we were expecting at some point. But I wouldn't call it to me as one of those matches you can call it like a comeback. But you can call it like, okay, maybe they're just telling a small story because Jamie Hayter took out Penelope Ford with the Haterade. Now, of course, now it's been told that Mina Shirakawa's coming back to AEW, but there's a glimpse you guys noticed that was like black and white. Looks like she's not coming alone. Now, our main event is Kyle Fletcher and Konosuke Takeshita. While they were waiting for Ricochet, Ricochet said that this was the biggest mistake that Fletcher and Takeshita, saying that he allowed them to pick. And of course, Fletcher wasn't sure what he thinks, and yeah, right. But, however, he gave him a bit of a clue, saying that the partner he chose is pissed off with the Don Callis family because his contract with them, expired last month. And it turned out to be none other than Powerhouse Hobbs. So, it was unexpected. So, it makes sense because you got to ask yourself, did Don Callis actually got a hold of Powerhouse? Did he actually tell him how to get well, send him some flowers, checking on him? Looks like it. Hell no. But Ricochet took matters in his own hands, took out Takeshita with of course, the elbow. However, of course, the Don Callis family were going to get retribution. And then, of course, we did see Mark Davis, Adam Cole come out, and then finally, Will Ospreay showed up for a helping hand. So basically, Fletcher cannot believe it. So, of course, now we did see there was an exclusive. You guys went on social media. There was an exclusive video that showed, of course, Ricochet, Davis, Will Ospreay, and Hobbs give their reasons. Now, Hobbs did say, you didn't even send me a get will card or check up on me. So that's possibly confirmed it that Don Callis didn't care about what happened to Hobbs. So that's his mistake. And, of course, Will Ospreay tells Davis that he understand this is war. The Fletchers that he knew is gone. So he's going to take matters in his hands. So we will see what happens down the road. So let's just wait and see. So I think that's pretty much it for AEW Dynamite. So let's move on with our last and final review, and that is, of course, NXT. Okay, NXT, as you know, back in ECW country. And I like the opening, they did the ECW opening theme, but using NXT stuff as well in it, which is really fun. Now, I'm not going to lie, I thought this was a good way of, trying to get the fans, okay, if they're fans of this generation of this time, to maybe introduce themselves to some ECW material. You know, I wasn't much of an ECW fan until much later, but yeah. Now, our first match is a hardcore match. We have Lola Vice versus Jada Parker. Now, they were saying this could be the possible last match, like who will be the person being up. Lola Vice versus Jada Parker. Of course, there was a lot of plunder, and then you have, of course, Dawn Marie. Many of you remember her, for ECW legend and WWE diva at the time, being the referee. Of course, we saw trash cans, we saw ladders, we saw everything. But it was Jada Parker's with the hip attack that sealed the deal for her to win. Now, we did see Ethan Page and Rich Holland do a video promo, but it appears Rich Holland's primary goal now is becoming an NXT champion. So that's what he's intending to do. So we will see what happens. Now, Kelani Jordan, as you know, many of you may remember this or not. She is a big RVD fan. She was doing the same thing what RV did, with the split, and RVD was there to give her some words of wisdom. Of course, when she left, Wesley attacked RVD out of nowhere. So I don't know what's his deal. He's being the biggest punk of them all. But yeah. Now, as you know, last week we did hear Nuncio call the Don. So basically, they had a little face-to-face confrontation, but peacefully. So we did see those two actually handle some business. So we'll get to that in a bit. Now, we did see Javon Evans versus Wesley. So basically, as you know, Wesley tries to prove his point that Javon Evans is nowhere near ready to become NXT champion, because he feels that he should be the one making the play. Javon Evans should just take a back seat and just do that. But Javon Evans, he is the kind of person he can say, whatever, man, you don't tell me what to do. So that's who he is. Now, he might have thought he was going to get away with everything, but apparently, there's something I forgot to let out. Apparently, since this is ECW country, the referees were told to call the match under their own discretions. So basically, even if there was interference, they have to be lenient on that. So it did work out in favor for Javon Evans, because RVD showed up, and then Evans did a very long distance frog splash, putting out Wesley. Of course, we probably will see Wesley next week bitching like a little girl about the loss, but we'll see. Now, we did see our general manager Ava, along with Mr. Stone and Stevie Turner, making their way to the ring. Eddie Thorpe wanted to talk to her, so I don't know what was that all about, but we'll see. However, Ava gave a little interesting announcement in the ring, talking about, of course, Deadline, which will be coming back in Minneapolis on December 7th. And of course, it's the return of the Iron Survival Challenge, which is going to be very interesting. We don't know who's going to be involved. That's going to be an interesting event to see. However, Mr. Stone decided to open his big fat mouth. Now, remember, I did say that this is ECW country. So, well, the more he disrespected ECW, he got gore, gore, gore. Yep, Rhino took him out. So I thought it was very funny. There was a moment Stevie Turner had to carry his sorry ass back. So I thought it was very strange. Now, before the main event, Zara, Jordan Grace, Julia, Stephanie Vakir, and Kalani Jordan were talking until, of course, members of Metaphor, Jakara Jackson, and Lash Legends showed up. So, of course, they're talking about the tag team titles, but later they got in the faces of Julia and Stephanie. So that is something we probably will see down the road between them. So we'll see where that leads. Now, our next match, we did have, of course, Rich Holland and Ethan Page taking on Trick Williams and Bubba Ray Dudley. This match ended in a way where, of course, it's heading to the direction where I kind of had a suspicions with Rich Holland. He pinned Trick Williams when he countered the trick shot, giving him an opportunity for a shot. However, in the post-match, apparently we saw some nostalgic, and Rich Holland left, leaving Ethan Page alone. And then, of course, we did see some Team 3D moments, or Dudley's ways like, what's up? But however, they were looking for a table, and there was no tables underneath, but who could have a table without, of course, Devon Dudley, brother testifies, showed up. So, yep, Ethan Page got through a table by a double chokeslam. So, that's going to be fun and a good memory. Now, for a couple of weeks, we've been seeing Adonis getting involved in Carmen Petrovic's matches. So basically, Carmen was thinking, look, I got even. You got me, I got you. I thought we were done. But no, it's like this whole, he said, she says coming up. So we'll see what happens. Now, our only title match is the NXT North American title. Nunzio versus Tony D'Angelo. But I kind of figured this was going to go to Tony D'Angelo. But I did like the moment where, of course, Tony D'Angelo was about to take out Nunzio, and Nunzio does the... Yeah, he knew it was coming, so just like that. The spine buster, and then, of course, retaining the belt. But a lot of respect showed up between both D'Angelo and Nunzio, so that's something that's been wrapped up. Now, our main event, we have Fatal Influence, Fallon Henley, Jay-Z Jane, and Jasmine Nix teaming up with Cora Jade and Roxanne Perez, taking on Stephanie Vakir, Julia, Jordan Grace, Kelani Jordan, and Zaria. So that was a pretty good match. Of course, it's going to be chaotic in some capacity. However, the match ended with, of course, Zaria picking up the win on Roxanne Perez. Probably this could be an opportunity to leave Roxanne Perez to have a match against Zaria. So should she be concerned? The operative word is yes. So that is something. Because as you know, Roxanne, Cora, and Fatal Influence feeling that their opponents had no right to be involved in NXT. Well, it's too bad. So it looks like the next generation is about to take over at some point. So, but there was a moment where we did see, of course, Roxanne Perez during a exclusive video. She pulled up a Shawn Michaels. Now, if you guys remember that scene where Shawn Michaels pulled up a super kick on Stan, who we all know later it was Shawn Spears. So she did that with Mr. Stone. Maybe because she is now concerned she has to deal with Zaria. So we'll see what happens. So, but yeah. But for now, let's just end things here with all our reviews and move on with our last and final thing, news updates. Okay. So welcome to our news update. So let's begin with upcoming events with the promotions. We have a lot of stack with GCW, so let's start with that. As you know, on the 14th of November in Louisville, Kentucky for Chaos in Kentucky, we have Masha Slamovich taking on Rachel Armstrong. And then the following day in St. Louis for Gateway to the Death, we have Gringo Loco taking on the young GOAT Myron Reed. Then, of course, the following day in Orlando on November 16th, we have the Nick Gage Invitational 9. There's going to be a non-tournament match, but it's going to be a hardcore match. We have the Pink Striker, Miyu Yamashita, taking on Broski Jimmy. So that's going to be a lot of fun. And then on the 23rd of November for American Dream, we have Mike Bailey taking on former WWE superstar Sydney Akeem, formerly known as Scripps and Reggie. And then the following day on the 24th of November, Bloodsport, we have Masha Slamovich taking on former WWE superstar Li Ying Lee, formerly known as Xia Li. So that's going to be interesting to watch. And then, of course, on December 1st in Chicago, we have the Say You Will event. Tag team match. We have the Garbage Daddies, Cole Radrick and Alec Price, taking on Hot Commodity. Now, I don't know much about them, but it's going to be interesting to know about. And then finally, we have the Ransom event on the 6th of December in Tampa. Lindsay Snow has been announced that she will be participating in that particular event. Now, we have as you know, New Japan will be doing the Fighting Spirit Unleashed on the 9th of November. As you know, there's going to be a four-way match for the number one contendership for the New Japan Strong Women's title. So we have Anna Jay, Azuki Koguma, and Trish Adora. So we will see which one of them will be facing Mercedes Moné. Deadlock Pro Wrestling for their World's Strongest on the 17th of November. We have LeBron Cozone taking on Jason Drake. Uh, Mighty Gold has announced they were supposed to have the Mighty Gold World Championship match sooner, but however, due to an injury by Nana Takeshita, her match has been postponed until the 13th of December in Shinjuku Face. So that match between for the world title will be happening. House of Glory has announced they'll be making their way back to Chicago for an event on the 17th of January in 2025 for Watch the Throne. And then finally, as you know, you may remember Meiko Satomura is now in her final year to be in to wrestling, so she'll be making her last and final match on April 29th with Sendai's called Satomura the Final. So this is going to be epic. So we'll see what matches she'll be in. We're currently on her road to the retirement. So yeah. So I think this is pretty much it for that. Let's talk about developments. Many of you may have heard this. Uh, since today is the 6th of November, by this time this video out, it will be November 7th. Yoshi wrestler Yoshiko Hasegawa, formerly of At-Risk Girls and a freelancer, then of course Ganbare Pro, and now Tokyo Show Pro Wrestling, celebrates her 5th year anniversary. She actually debuted on November 6th, 2019. So today is November 6th on 2024. So happy anniversary, Yoshiko. Many of you know this already. Apparently, Tegan Nox has been released from WWE. It's now been foretold that she will be making her return to the Indies after her 90-day non-compete clause is finished. So we will see what indie promotions will be available. So that's going to be fun to see. Fightful Select reports that Mark Davis is now cleared to make his in-ring return. So I'm very happy since we did review AEW. So that's going to be interesting to see. French wrestler Anglais Blanc is now going to be out of action, indefinite out due to a third degrees ankle sprain. So basically, he'll be out. He was supposed to be in an event coming up with German promotion WXW, but apparently they just announced his replacement. But speedy recovery, so we'll see how things will progress. Fightful Select reports about Tiffany Stratton. As many of you know, she is in a relationship with Ludwig Kaiser. She did say that, she's like not in a rush to make this work, but she will love to have like some storyline with her boyfriend, Ludwig. We've seen wrestlers do that type of thing. So it's only a matter of when will it happen. So we'll see about that. Interesting development that's been announced. Many of you now know that Noah and WWE are in somewhat of a partnership. Their Noah's talent, Yoshiki Inamura, just arrived to be part of the Performance Center. And many of you know this. He had an incredible match with Tavian Heights during when Heights was at the Pro Wrestling N1 Victory. So that's something we're definitely going to see. Now, many of you know what happened after when Kenny Omega made his appearance at New Japan for the Power Struggle. Apparently, he got into an altercation with Gabe Kidd. Let me pull up a little bit about that a bit. Let's see. Yeah, so this is what he said. I'm not the vice president of New Japan, and I needed to protect my own safety. I heard a lot of rumors about Gabe, so I felt it was dangerous. In the end, I made the first move, but I did it to protect myself. He claimed that it was self-defense, so that's what he reported to Tokyo Sports and all that. Tanahashi did stated this. After discussing internal, we have decided that the assaulting in an absent wrestler disqualifies him professionally wrestling, and I've decided to impose several warnings and fine. We would like to deeply apologize to AEW and Kenny Omega. Some of you may ask, why would Gabe Kidd does that? Simple. He's a loudmouth prick, thinks that Kenny Omega should be out of his misery, not to get involved. I mean, Kenny did make a point. I'm not the VP of New Japan. He's EVP for AEW. He was just there because of his past relationship with New Japan. And I think Gabe Kidd is threatened because he's here because he thinks he's the shit. So we will see those two face off. We just don't know when. And finally, many of you remember this. Due to the situation that's been going on with Ice Ribbon, Yoshi wrestler Yuki Mashiro has now terminated her contract with Ice Ribbon and now decided to jump as a freelancer. Recently, it was announced that she'll be making a 5-show appearance with YMX, I think that's called. Yeah, YMX was which is the promotion run by Yoshi wrestler Coyote Yonayama, and she'll be making 5 show appearances. This is the ones we do know that was announced. She'll be making appearance on the 14th at the Posti Mistida, which is the venue for Diana's events. The 29th in Shinjuku Face, and then back on the 1st of December for Posti Mistida, and then the 23rd of December in Shinkiba First Ring, and then finally on the 1st of January, Shinjuku Face. So basically, she is now going to be making appearances under promotions. It's still yet to determine if she will be making appearances like, let's say, Diana or possibly, let's say, Seedling, that sort of thing. We don't know. But it will be interesting to see. So let's just wait and see what goes on from there. So I think that's pretty much it. So let's just call it a day. Well, I hope everybody enjoys this episode. Before I proceed, I want to say this, as I probably will say this now because some of you may think me otherwise. Yes, I will always have a deep love for AEW, despite of what the results will be tomorrow. But I do have that distinct feeling that NXT will win this Wednesday's event. I'm not going to say it's a bummer, but it's expected, in some capacity. So, that's how it is. But, of course, we cannot forget that it was AEW that won the Wednesday Night War. That's something that will not change. But this particular day, I feel that NXT won it. But as soon as the results come in, I will put that on possibly on the next episode. So we'll see. Now for our next episode, I do know we will have TNA and ROH. So stand by for that. I haven't decided what other events I might review. I'm a little behind with certain events. But we'll get to that as soon as possible. I'm trying to catch up with everything. But for now, this is what we do. But until then, I will see you guys in the next DWZ time. Same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So, goodbye. And have a nice day.